Hello, Patreon and YouTube subscribers. This is a status for both. It's a dreary October morning, or maybe it's afternoon, I don't remember anymore. This is a status update, and I'll show you what's going on and what needs to be done and where we are with the Ethereal Mechanics and all the other projects I have to do. My Patreon members understand I am preparing for a cold winter this winter, and there are certain outdoor tasks that have to be done before winter sets in. First and foremost is when I had the driveway paved this summer. Okay, that's our driveway. I needed these backstops so they could pave up to something. But now I got to get these boxes completed, and what I'm going to do is hire, I've already contracted a landscaper to come in and fix this. They're also going to do this on the other side here, because I just don't have the time. I don't want to, this needs to get done, but I don't want to dedicate time to it. Time is something that's very, very tight. And this is the front of a house, which I've neglected in order to do Ethereal Mechanics, but now is the time to get it done. And also, over here you'll see that since we paved up, there's now a depression here. There was a depression before between the house and the ability for water to wick away, and this little puddling that happened under here causes damage to my garage floor. So they're also going to continue this 2x6 or 4x6 block all the way around the side of the house to the front door, and they're also going to clean up all of this mess, and they're going to put in a sidewalk that's going to a bridge up to the concrete or the pavement. And the reason why the water is not good is because water gets underneath the garage floor, and I probably have junk in the area here, but you can see massive pitting and cracking from the floor cleaving. And even with the epoxy paint down, if I put a box down on the floor in the spring and in the fall, because of all the water pooling underneath the garage, the underside of the box will be wet and damp just from the water diffusing through the floor. Okay, and so as you can see, I've gotten a lot of the garage cleaned up. All right, still got some to go, but a lot of the stuff is cleaned out. And the idea being that once I get the rest of this stuff gone and away, that I can get the tractor in here for the winter time, and the tractor can then sit in the middle of the floor, allowing all the benches around the outside to be free to do work, which was the big problem last year. And the reason for having the driveway paved 6 feet to either side is I can park the trucks off to the side without obscuring the ability for the tractor to get out to pave the driveway. So that was one of the things I needed to improve to make the driveway, the garage, more useful. Now, come in, oh, there's the supervisor. As many of you see in my other videos, this place was all cluttered. It's all, well, still a little bit cluttered, but mostly cleaned up now. And I'm even pulling out lampshades for decoration. That's a Dragonfly Tiffany lampshade. And because it's out here in the middle, right next to the supervisor's little chair, you can see that it's properly bolted down so the supervisor can't tip it over. Okay, now one of the other things that has to happen this week, or next weekend, before it starts getting cold, is I've got a problem, a serious problem with the house. This is my back wall of the house. Okay, it extends all the way into the master bedroom, and that blue wall to this blue wall are the entire width of the house. So this entire wall, except for this little area here, this little inside wall acting as a buttress, is unsupported. The ceiling does nothing because the ceiling above the ceiling is a truss roof. And anybody knows a truss roof can take loads on the top, but it is very poor at taking loads on the side. So this entire back wall is completely unsupported against the winter winds. And then again, so is the side wall, and essentially so for the back wall as well. And because of that, when the wind blows on the wall actually depresses in, and the only thing supporting it is this little buttress. And let me see if I can close in so you can see the hairline crack. Come on, camera, focus. You can do it. You can do it. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hairline crack, and it's also visible on the other side of the door. Come on, camera, focus. me see if I can zoom in on it. This thing doesn't focus well, but there's a big hairline crack that goes all the way to the wall there. So, and the other problem is because this entire thing racks, and I'll do that demonstration with a piece of paper. This entire wing of the house racks in the wind. And because it does, there's going to be damage in other critical place, and I'm going to show you the demonstration where that other critical place is now. Okay, this sheet of paper here with the blue square or rectangle drawn in it represents the north wing of the house, where this would be the end of the house where that wall is with the other inside wall that's got the crack in it. And here is where we found the nail pops. Now, why would we find the nail pops there? Well, when the wind is blowing straight on the back of the house, that's going to cause more of this crack here. But if the wind were to blow at, let's say, an angle of the house, it would cause the house to rack. And it's going to look like this. Okay, it's not folding, right? And so you can see how if I rack it like this, you get a big long bulge going this way. Okay, but if I rack it the other way, okay, you see you get a big bulge going the opposite way. And where do those two lines intersect? In the center of the structure, and that is exactly where we're seeing the nail pops. And so now let's go to that other critical place. And where we are right now, there's the bathroom. Let me turn the light on in the bathroom. Okay, there's the bathroom, and there's the other outside wall there. So diametrically, I'm in the center of the north wing, and sure enough, if I look up, I will see, boy, this camera doesn't focus for shit. Where is it? There it is. A nail pop here, and then if I look on the other side of the door, on the inside of the door, you will see another nail pop. So this is definite indicators that the north side of the house is racking. Okay, so that took me a while to put all this together and to realize that this is just a freestanding wall here. There's no support from the roof because it's just a truss roof. And so this wall here is pretty much taking all of the stress of the winds, and the roof is the drywall is trying to take some of the load, and because of that, it's under stress. So what I need to do up in the attic is start putting loading members across this way to start distributing the load to the interior structures, because there's like a wall back here and a hallway back here. Doing that, and then also to prevent racking, I've got to put some diagonal members or something like that. I haven't figured it out, but it's got to be something like this to prevent everything from to take the stress off the window of the wall, and to reduce the ability for this thing to rack. So it's got to be something like that, and that's going to be a lot of work. That's going to take the whole weekend. So I'm sorry, folks. There's probably, other than a video for the Patreon members to show, what I got done on this work, there's probably not going to be any other video coming out next weekend. And so what I have to do, and the other thing I have to do is, I got my tractor parked out here. I got to get my tractor winterized. I got to get the backhoe taken off, and I got to put the plow on the front. Another one of the million things I got to do before winter is, all I have is this tiny little, not even 2x2 cubby hole to get through there and do all the repair work, because I'm going to do all the repair work up in the truss system. And I'll give more detail of this to the Patreon members next week of what's going on. And so I think that's pretty much it right now. Just check what we got going on downstairs. This area is all cleaned out of junk and garbage that was sitting here before. All the way into well, except for like one rack of stuff I gotta finish putting away. And so the bar's cleaned up, getting the table ready for doing demonstrations later on in the winter. I bought some tile because I need to do some tile repair after I repaired the dryer duct vent over there. I got a grungy box out here for oiling up all the tools and stuff that I'm putting away in the garage for winter. Oh, hi, supervisor. Yeah, don't look shy or nothing. And finally, in the tool room, I've ordered more Raspberry Pis and Arduinos to have on hand for doing the experiments coming up. Some other parts, I'm still got stuff to put away. Lots to do, much to do. And I'm also cleaned up the solar room because I'm going to eventually clear off this table so I can work in here to do the soldering and stuff in here, because in here it's got a little bit of ventilation for the batteries. So anyway, what all I'm planning up to do here is get ready for Thanksgiving break, because next weekend I've got to do the repair work on the house, so there's not going to be much other than an update for the Patreon folks of what's happening in the house. But what I'm working on, my goal is to get everything cleared out so I can take my week at Thanksgiving and dedicate that to doing the simulations for the electrogravity paper, with the hope of possibly getting the electrogravity paper done over the Christmas break. That's a little optimistic, but it's possible, assuming I get all this other crap out of the way. And if not, it'll definitely be done by summer. So thank you very much. Thank you for my Patreon members for being patient. Sorry, I've got to get all this other crap out of my way. I don't have anybody but him to do work, and he just sits around all day sunbathing, so the kind of life I'd like to live. Right, buddy? Hey, talking to you. Right? Right? Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank my Patreon members for being patient. We will get there. Things are happening.